Okay, today we're going over the XLR Boost 35DSX11. Take a quick look at it here. Starting off down here, your battery is going to be stored in that plastic box in this compartment here. Above that, we got a storage shelf. And then in this one is going to be the area for a generator prep if you decided you wanted to add on a generator. These switches here, this one on the left is your landing leg control. Extend and retract is just running those front jacks here up and down so you can make the adjustment to get on your truck and off your truck, and then leveling out at the campsite. Then this switch here is the docking light switch, so that's those blue lights that we just saw on the front, so on and off. And we have your first propane tank here. Left's open, right's closed. Simple. Then you got your storage right here. Got the cranks for running jacks up and down manually if they were ever to go out electrically. Then we also have your little table in here that you can put in your garage. And then here is your water connections. City connections on the left, that's direct water hookup for if your campsite has a spigot there for you to plug your hose into. And then you'll hook your hose into your unit here, turn the water on, and that runs water directly into your water lines, into your faucets and everything. So once you have water hooked up here and turned on, you should have water everywhere you'll need it inside. I would suggest a pressure regulator for that. Campgrounds push high pressure, and that can blow your water lines out and cause flooding. You don't want that. And the one on the right here is your fresh connection. So if you're staying somewhere that doesn't have city, you'll fill up your fresh tank from here, take the hose, plug it in, turn the water on. That fresh tank's going to start to fill up. That fresh drain is somewhere down here. That white kind of looking one above your sewer drains. We'll get a little closer. This white one here, push in, pull out. Pulled out is going to drain the water out. Pushed in is going to keep it in there. You'll be able to tell how full that fresh tank is from the inside. There's tank level monitors inside, so you'll watch that so you don't accidentally overflow it. Then you have the black tank flush above here. What that is when you're draining your black tank out, which is the holding tank for your toilet. You can hook a hose into there, turn the water on, and that's going to help flush anything that's stuck in there, help push it out, keep that tank cleaner. Down there are those sewer drains. So you have two black poles here, one at the end and then one back further there, just so you can segment those off. And then on the right side is the gray tank. Gray is going to be sinks and showers, and then black again is the toilet. I would drain your black tank first. That way when you drain your gray, it helps to rinse your sewer hose out. And then also while you're draining the black tank, I would utilize your black tank flush to help make sure that all of that's cleaned out. We have the slide out in the closed position right now. We'll open that up when we get inside, as well as the one on the front. After purchase, tires will be filled, lug nuts will be tightened down, so you'll be ready for the road. Unit plugs in right here. It is 50 amp. Just line up the metal piece on your power cord with the metal piece on the connection, and then should get it every time. Then we have the sewage holding tank for the back one. That's going to be another black tank, so definitely make sure you use your black tank flush to clean that out entirely when draining that. Outside showers right here, it's going to be hot, cold, and then a little water hose for rinsing things off. Then you got your fuel fill back here and your onboard fuel pump for if you need to fill up a side-by-side or something of that nature. The fill is right there, and then turn your pump on from there so that you can fill things up. Got your ladder here. 250-pound capacity on that. On the side here is a vent, push it out, and that will open it up from the inside. Walking around the back here, we'll take a look at your ramp door. You got two clamps on each side. Just undo those, lift up here. If you're older, I'd suggest to do this with two people. The door is a little heavy, just to stay safe here. And then once you got those latches off, pull. Make sure you have it nice and supported as it comes down. Again, it is heavy. Flops down. These cables will lock out, and that's what holds that in place. I'll run that patio out. Once we get inside, I'll show you how to do that. Down here on the right is your rear stabilizer, extend and retract switch for running these back jacks up and down. Really easy, just press and hold, retract, and you bring them up. They don't adjust individually side to side, so if you want to do side to side leveling, you have to run your tires up onto leveling stamp pads. We got your stairs here. These ones are just going to flip on top of each other and tuck under the frame. Then these stairs are going to flip up into the door frame like that. We got an outside speaker here and there. TV mount here, cable connection there, and 2 outlets down there. Furnace exhaust is right here. That does get hot if you're running the furnace, so make sure you don't touch that. And then up there is the range vent for your burners. If those are getting hot, you turn the fan on and it'll pump that heat out the side of your unit. Mini fridge in here. Temperature adjustable in the top left corner there. This runs when the unit's plugged in, doesn't run otherwise. Water heaters right here. What you got to do for this, once you have water running, you just turn this switch on here, and that's not turning the water heater on. That's actually turning on the panel in your bathroom, which controls the water heater. That'll have temperature up and down, on and off on there. So turn that on, then that panel will be on inside. Nothing else you really need to know with that. It is tankless, so it doesn't matter if you run antifreeze through it. Yeah. And then in here is your battery disconnect switch, that red key. When you can't pull it out, that means that battery's on. Give it a flip, pull, it comes right out. Then that battery power would be cut off. You'll use that if you didn't want your batteries to die, if you were having it sit in your driveway for like a week or so. And then your second propane tank is here. These are individually regulated, so once one runs out, you'll have to just open the other one up. All right, let's head on in. So as we walk in, you can see that our slide is in. So we'll go to our panel here, turn some of these lights on, and then we got slide in and out. So we'll just hold out, and you can see that slide out's gonna start moving. I would level your unit out first before you run your slides out, just because slides can throw you off kilter a little bit, make it a little harder to level. Then we have your awning extender track switch right here, so we'll hold that as well to show you that the awning is working. There that goes. Once that valance at the end of the awning is facing straight down, that's how you know it's all the way out, and I would stop. If you keep going, it'll start rolling over itself and then creates a little valley. Water pools up there and stretches your canvas out. To pitch the awning, there's little nuts on the side. You'll just loosen and tighten them. That way you can slide the arms in or out to tip the awning one way or the other, whatever way you want the water to run off. Most people will pitch the back side so that the water pools off at the end instead of making a puddle every time they're walking towards their unit. All personal preference though. Going over the other switches on this panel, just lights. You have heating pads right here. What those are just warming your tanks up to keep those from freezing in the wintertime. Water pump switch right here for if you're using your fresh tank, you'll turn that on. Pumps from the fresh tank to run water to your faucets. Fuel pump switches above that for pumping fuel from that fuel fill we saw outside. Then we have your tank level indicators here. So as that fresh tank's filling, the red lights will come on. Same thing for the black and the gray tanks. And then this is your battery level. Battery always reads full when the unit's plugged in. If you want an accurate reading, unplug your unit. Going over the rest of the stuff in here, we do have this little couch here that does flop down. It's just a jackknife sofa into a bed. Just make sure if you're running your slides at all that you put this back into this position so that the slide doesn't run into it. Yeah, we got your little sectional couch here. Any lights that don't go on with that panel are going to be on separate switches, or there'll be individual presses on the center of the light to turn them on. We got your fridge right here. This is a 12-volt fridge, so this runs off your battery while you're driving, and then once you're plugged in, it'll switch over to that 120 power. Temperature adjustments, that dial up there, and that adjusts the fridge and the freezer. Then we have sink area. We got your burners right here. Up is the panel light, down is the panel light and the oven light. For travel, make sure the glass is folded down. Don't want that to slam and shatter on you. Then you do have the fan right here and a little light. Microwaves are self-explanatory. Press the start button, set your time, boom. You do have an electric fireplace in this unit. So if you want to save propane and heat this place up, I'd use the electric fireplace. Half an hour, 45 minutes. Have this place nice and warm. Power button is right there. Press it, turns on. Then you have temperatures high, low, or no heat at all if you just wanted it to be just sort of a light show. And you have different colors. And then this one's a timer, so you can have that go for a certain time up to about 5 hours, I believe is the max. Then you have your radio here. It does have Bluetooth if you want to connect your phone to it. Furrion radios do sometimes have a pin to connect to the Bluetooth. So you'll have to type that in. It's usually zeros or 1, 2, 3, 4. Zone 1 and 2 on the top left there for controlling your inside and outside speakers. You just tap on them to turn them off, tap on them to turn them on. We'll walk back here. We've got the breakers and fuses in this panel area here. Everything's labeled so you know what each one does. Take extra fuses with you just in case. You don't want to blow one and then not have an extra on hand. Then we have your carbon monoxide detector right there. What that is, checks for carbon monoxide and propane gas, and that does draw off your batteries when the unit's not plugged in. Even if you have your battery disconnect flip, this will still be drawing. It's just hardwired for safety regulations. So if you're not going to be staying in here for over 2 weeks, I'd probably take your battery out. Otherwise, it's going to slowly trickle out. There's just a little green light on there, and that eventually kills it. Here's one of those lights I was talking about. Press on the middle, turns it on. You have your thermostat on the wall here. Tap the power button. Turns it on. Tapping it will flip through different speeds: cool, hot, fan, dry. So if we were to go to cool, for example, once we get to the setting we want to use, temperature up and down, fan speed, auto, low or high, and you can hear that AC unit running. Air conditioning is going to run through the ceiling vents, and heat will typically run through 4 registers. I'm trying to see if I can see one anywhere in here. Might be ducted through the ceiling as well. Ducted through the walls. So down there you see this black one. That's where the heat's going to come out of. Alright, we'll turn that AC back off. Just hold the power button and that'll shut it off. Then up here is your solar charge controller. What this is regulating how much solar your panels take in so that it doesn't overcharge the batteries. So if your batteries are full, then this knows to stop charging them so that it's not constantly charging, which is bad for the generator, and which is not bad for the generator, bad for the batteries. Above that is your generator start-stop switch. Again, if you want to get a generator, speak to your salesman. They'll get that put on the deal for you, and that'll be installed, prepped and everything. In here, here's this panel I was talking about earlier that the little switch outside turns on. So once you have that switch turned on, there'll be a little temperature display here. Then you have power on and off, or turn the water heater on and off, and then adjust your temperature up and down. That's it. Light switch is there. Bathroom, toilet is going to be a pedal flush. Showers just like one at home, hot, cold. Your fan up here. Speeds are in the corner. 1, 2, 3, or 4 off. You do have to pull this lever down to unlock the fan, and then just twist it to open it up. Take a look in the bedroom. king size bed. This does pull up to reveal some storage under there. Then we have the little wardrobe slide out here, and the switch for that is on the wall here, so just hold out and then that'll start sliding out. Give you a little more walking space in here. Makes the space feel a lot bigger. So that's what that looks like out. Windows, the shades in here are just pull down, so just push and pull, and window pull out, and then slide it to the left. Exit windows will have red tabs to pull on, to pull the screens out, and then the windows will push all the way out so you can get out in case of a fire. Okay, now look at the garage area. We got your 2 seats back here. Same kind of deal as the one in the living area. They are just jackknife sofas, so they just flop down. You can take them off entirely if you need to fit something bigger in here. You have washer dryer hookups on the wall here. GFCI is right there as well if you need to reset the outlets. A little second bath back here. Sink and the toilet. This one, you can pull this pin out and swing this wall out. So if you needed to park something a little bigger, you can slide those front tires into there. We'll show you how to set this patio up though. So just walk over to it, push one side out, grab the other side, slide that one out as well. And there's these little pin clips right here, so you just push those in, and that's going to allow that to slide. And you'll slide that into this bottom connection down here. This little metal foot just clicks into place. All of these have little metal feet that click into them. So same thing on this side. We'll press this metal button and that slides out, and we'll click it into place down there, and then we'll swing this one out and that over there. Click this one into place, click that in down there, and slide that over top, and then boom, you got your patio set up. For pulling your bed down here, you just grab these little straps. You can see that the bed is resting on those feet up there and there. I like to use 2 people for this. I think it's easier, but you pull down like that until you got one side sort of set down where you want it, and then you come to the other side and you're gonna gotta kind of wiggle it into place. So sometimes it doesn't line up quite right the first time. It takes a little bit of adjustment. There we go. I think I got it now. And then we should be able to flop it down. That way you can get up there and access it. Same thing to put it back up. Just do it in reverse. Then we got those side vents I talked about earlier. You just click them to the left or the right. That pops open like that. Now we'll cover the winterizing process. Outside are your low point drains, kind of underneath your water heater area here, just a hot and cold line. Once you get to your water pump, you'll take your jug of antifreeze, set it next to the water pump, stick the cutoff end of hose that's attached to the water pump inside of your jug of antifreeze, flip the valve on your water pump to change where the water's drawing from. It will no longer draw from the fresh tank and will be drawing from the end of your hose instead. Stick that hose in the jug, turn the pump on. It's going to start pumping antifreeze through your lines. Open up all the faucets, sinks, showers, everything. Run antifreeze through all of it until it's completely pink coming out of there. Make sure you get it all down the drains and everything. And then you come out here to these low points, open these up and run them until it's completely pink coming out of there as well. That way you know you've gotten antifreeze through the entire system. Close those off and you're all set. For dewinterizing, you're going to kind of do the opposite, but just with water. Make sure you flip that valve back on your water pump so that when you're using your water pump later on, it's actually drawing from the fresh tank and not from that cutoff end of hose. But you'll hook into your city connection, turn the water on, run water through all the faucets, down all the drains, out these low point drains until it's completely clear. Do that 3 or 4 times, and then you're all set. Your water pump is going to be underneath your sink here. You're going to take the 2 screws off on this not a compartment access panel, and then you'll be able to get to that water pump and access that cutoff end of hose. You can just look up a water pump diagram if that sounds confusing to you, but it's pretty simple. With all of that said, we are all set. If you have any questions after purchase, call the service department, contact your salesman, and they should be able to help you out. If you have any interest in purchasing add-ons, you can speak with your salesman about that, things like backup cameras and slide toppers. But with all that said, if you do end up purchasing, I hope you have some happy camping and have a great day.